It's election season in Nigeria with 7 months to go. The political parties are gearing up to rack up votes from every demographic possible. One of those important voting demographics is Nigeria's youth. The opposition People's Democratic Party, whose presidential candidate is former Vice President Atiku-Abubakar, has a support group called PDP New Generation and is set to launch the second phase of its Operation Rescue Nigeria project with the appointment of Hauwa Atiku-Uwais, who is the chair of the 25-member National Strategic Committee. She's also the daughter of the People's Democratic Party's presidential candidate. She joins us now from our Abuja studios. Here in Lagos, we have Oladotun Mabinuori, who is the Economist and PDP New Generation Strategic Committee member. Thank you both for joining us. Good morning. How I want to start with you. I need to get this first question out of the way because a lot of our viewers have asked. We had Peter Obi, presidential candidate of the Labour Party, on the Arise station last week. We had Rabiu Kwankwaso, presidential candidate for the NNPC. He was on over the weekend. So when can we expect to have Atiku-Abubakar join us to talk about his plan for Nigeria?
Good morning, Rotus, and thank you for having me here. I'm sure you can expect him very soon. As you said earlier, we still have 7 months to go, and campaigns actually start in September this year. So I'm sure he will be available to answer all of your questions at the appropriate time. But I must make one point. He has his plan already out for Nigerians to digest. So that hopefully when he comes out, Nigerians can ask him the questions that truly matter.
Fantastic. Well, we're looking forward to that. So let's get into this. Dosso, I'm going to start with you, and I'll come back to you in a second. We're focusing on youth and jobs. Yeah. Let's put up an excerpt from the plan that was shared with us. Where I believe is excerpts on where we are and the solutions, right? So let's get that up here and put that up for our viewers as far as where we are and the issues. So, all right, unemployment for women and young people, 35.2% and 54.3% respectively in 2021. 70% of unemployed youths are uneducated and unskilled. Again, these are direct excerpts from the Atiku Covenant with Nigeria. So where we are, close to 23 million people are unemployed in 2021, 7 million more than in 2017. All right, let's get to the solutions now as to what the plans are. Okay, so we've taken a look at this already. Let's hop to the solutions as to what we shall do. So, Dosu, launch a new, more efficient, cost-effective, and sustainable national entrepreneurship development and job creation program. My question to you, Dosu, there's a lot of entrepreneurship programs already out. Why launch a new one? Why not tweak whatever is already out there? And then how is he going to make it cost-effective and so on and so forth and sustainable?
All right. As an economist, let me come.
Yes, that's why you're here.
Yeah, by quoting my fellow economist. There's an economist, the classical economist called J.B. Says. He said in 1888 that supply creates its own demand. Then in 1936, James Keynes countered that by saying demand creates its own supply. So most of the times, which is what Atiku is trying to do, is that what he's trying to do is creating new employment entrepreneurship programs that are economic dependent. Determined. So it's not a case of let's just do it the way others are doing it. Most of the times, the unemployment programs we have in the past, they are just nothing but political statements. They are just to fulfill political promises. But a case where you sit down as an entrepreneur, who Atiku-Abubakar is himself, what does this economy need in terms of? That's why we talk about demand-specific employment generation. That says demand creating its own supply. So it's not just doing this, doing that because others have done that. Or what if the foundation is weak? What can the righteous do? So what if the current one that we have are faulty? Are you saying we're going to repeat what has been done? So doing the same thing the same way and expecting different results is nothing but insanity. So what matters is that, okay, what exactly is the sector needed? For instance, my PhD thesis, for instance, I'm working on financial inclusion and poverty. Okay. So I understand that there are different types of poverty. In fact, we've been able to establish just 6 basic types of poverty. Absolute poverty, abject poverty, when you are able to, when you live below $2 a day. Relative poverty, that's poverty in comparison to others. We have rural poverty, poverty as a result of lack of basic amenities in the rural areas. We have urban poverty as we have in Lagos. Spending hours in traffic is poverty in itself. That's urban poverty. We have generational poverty from one person to the other, and from one parent to the other. They also have what they call situational poverty. A typical example was during that lockdown when everybody was at home. Irrespective of the money you have with you can't go anywhere. That's situational poverty. So it means that one bullet cannot kill all this type of poverty. So that's what we're talking about, demand-specific job creation, demand-specific entrepreneurship program, which is what Atiku-Abubakar has for the Youthcom 2023. So that's what I'm saying. We have sat down, look at what exactly is the youth, what do they need. So the kind of program you have in Lagos, for youth in Lagos or for citizens in Lagos, is not what you do in Zamfara. It's not the same thing you do in Bayelsa. So these are the things, that's what we talk about, demand creating its own supply, not supply creating its own demand, as JB said. So we're going Keynesian this time around, not classical.
Okay. Hauwa, thank you for that. Doso. Hauwa, let me come back to you. Let's put up another solution. This is on job creation, where the plan says that they will create up to 3 million jobs. Target the creation of up to 3 million self and wage-paying employment opportunities in the private sector. Hauwa, before you answer how this is going to happen, I want to show you something. I want to take you guys back to 2015. Where an APC billboard, and I think we're all familiar with this, where they also said, there it is. We will. I don't know what the fascination is with 3 million, but they said we will create 3 million jobs in just 1 year. So, how will these jobs be created, Hauwa? And I don't know if you can help us with this fascination with 3 million jobs a year.
I don't know what the fascination is with the number, but all the same, the numbers aside, there's one knowledge that we all know, that small businesses are all over the world are the engines of economic growth. And I think that in the Atiku plan, what he intends to do is to push the small and medium businesses to grow. So public-private participation, and creating the environment for those businesses to thrive. In his plan, and one thing that we have to understand is there are 5 major points of the Atiku plan. There's security, education, true federalism, unity, and economy. And all of these things interlink with each other. So if you have better security, which he promises to deliver under his plan, it leads to that leads to better economy plans, and a thriving economy. When you think about education, churning out graduates that are properly skilled to meet the demands of modern needs. So when you think about all of these things put together, it comes down to making the economy work for all. And once you put these things in place, you create value. So you create, let's take for instance, creating power. Once you create power as a government, you create a reduction in cost of operations for businesses. And that means that businesses make more, and that means that they're able to pay their taxes, and that means government is able to do the thing that it is supposed to do, which is create an enabling environment for that business to thrive. And then that means more people are employed, businesses can pay salaries, and that leads to reduction in, unemployment. So it's very basic, it's very simple. You put things in place, and then you allow the private businesses to run private businesses.
All right, great stuff.
I mean, government has no business in business.
Fantastic. I very much agree. I want to follow up on that, Hauwa, just to stick with you. Will if he wins the election, will a President Atiku assist the Bureau of Statistics in tracking job creation? Tomorrow, we're getting U.S. jobless claims. We get them every week. We run them on the show. Every month, the United States, maybe I shouldn't be using the United States, but this is a data thing. Will he, if he wins, put in place tools to assist the Bureau of Statistics to give us, whether it's monthly or quarterly, a tracking of the number of jobs that have been created, so every Nigerian knows how many jobs have been created amongst different sectors? Is that a possibility? Can that happen?
Yeah. Yes, that will happen. I mean, under his plan, he has an ICT-based plan, and that includes opening up government to the scrutiny of Nigerians. So that is definitely going to happen. We must be able to track where we're coming from and where we're moving to.
Great stuff. Dotun, let me come back to you. We have another, again, with all this, we're taking this all from the plan, all right? We're extracting the plan, putting it for our viewers. I want to show you something. We circled this here. This is with regards to the unemployment rate. Let's put this up for our viewers. Essentially, the plan says that by 2025, do we have that? By 2025, we will, there it is. Okay, so there's two plans there, but we circled it. Okay. Dotun, how is this possible? Reduce gradually the rate of unemployment and underemployment to a single digit by 2025? How, Dotun?
Well, as they say, as Mandela once said that...
you got quotes today. You have quotes all day for us.
It looks impossible until it is done.
Huh.
Yes, it is actually very, very possible.
Okay, how? Tell us how.
Okay, now that's what I'm saying here. Okay. If you notice what Atiku has been saying, whether on different fora that you have seen him, he's always talking about breaking monopolies.
Yes.
Now let me tell you how that works. Let's assume we are 10 in this studio, and all of us are hungry and thirsty. Okay. And there's only one person bringing in snacks and drinks for us. Okay. So this person knows that we are 10. And if that person is going to say, it's only one person, that's a monopolist, he will bring 3 or 4. Okay. Bring less than what we need. Yeah. So when it's coming in, because as a monopolist has control over either price or quantity. Yeah. So he controls the quantity, bringing in just 4. And you bring it for you will say, oh, I've been talking since morning, I will be the first person to pay. I'm paying 500 for a donut. Okay. But I will say, oh, I'm the guest here. No, you can't pay. If I will pay 1,000. Okay. So it becomes competition. Price keeps going up. But he's saying want to break monopoly. And break monopoly is just making an environment possible for others to come in. So imagine if you have about 5 suppliers of that same snacks coming in. 5 of them, each of them bringing 10. Okay. Bringing 10 to come and sell because we are 10 here. Yeah. And that means they have brought 50. So before you know it, indirectly, that one person maybe has employed just 2 people before, but because there are 5 now, they have employed maybe 5 people each, and they have created 25 jobs against the 2 that the monopolist has created. So a job has been created. Price of goods and services will surely come down. Inflation has been combated because in economics there's what we call the evil twin. That's unemployment and inflation. 2 of them coming together there are things that every economy will always strive to avoid. That's what we call the evil twin. Because there's what we call the Phillips curve also. An attempt to control one makes the other worsen the other one. That is, one is coming down, the other is going up. When you're combating inflation, unemployment is going up. That's why the addition of the 2 is what we call the mystery index in economics. When you add inflation and unemployment together, unemployment as we speak in Nigeria is 33.3%, while inflation is 17.71%. By the time you add that together, you have over 50% mystery index. That means more than half of Nigerians are miserable. Yeah. That's the meaning. Yeah. And it means, so to combat that, all you need to do is to make the environment more private sector led.
Wait, so sorry to interrupt. So with your analogy of the extra competition coming in, if what you're saying is he plans on making the environment more conducive for business, which will incentivize all these, your analogy, to come in and provide jobs.
Jobs will surely be created. A single digit unemployment is actually very possible.
By 2025.
By 2025, it's actually very possible. Because look at the rate at which people are losing jobs on a daily basis here. Yeah. And if that is, in a month of 6 months, the economy takes a new shape and everybody gets things done and, jobs will surely be created. And when you say creating jobs, it's not saying you want to employ 3 million people. It's different from creating, it's different from employing them. It's saying I want to create jobs. That is, make an environment possible for employers to do well, to thrive. Then by doing so, they are also employing people. And before you know, if you can create 1 million entrepreneurs, and each of them employ 3 people, that means they have created 4 million jobs. But the employer themselves, the entrepreneurs themselves, they are 1 million, and each of them employing 3. That's 4 million jobs being created, which is very possible. All you need to just to create microfinance, make fund available, and then make businesses. That's different tax holidays, macroeconomic environment that can be more conducive for businesses to thrive.
But don't those already exist now? Are they just not being?
They are not enough. Okay, look at one thing in economics. I only refer to economics.
Hey, please go ahead. Feel free.
For you to do economics up to PhD level, you should know that economics is me and I'm economics. There's what we call natural expectations, which says that past outcomes predict future outcomes. So Atiku-Abubakar have been there in 1999 as vice president and also the the lead of the economic team between 1999 and 2007.
Yep.
So we saw what he did in terms of transforming the economy, bringing in so many thousands, if not millions of business jobs were created within that period of 8 years.
Yep.
And we can see the track records are there.
Yep.
So now imagine this person becoming the president and repeating the same. So there's every possibility, which is called rational expectation, that if he has done it before, he will do it again. He will create more jobs and everybody the economy will surely thrive. So we will surely bounce back. So and it's someone that believes so much in economics. Look at the likes of the Soludo and what have you. Look at the current, because at times when we say what we are seeing right now, you're actually predictable. That's a solid success is predictable, failure is also predictable. And as you always say, man will lie, women will lie, but data will not lie.
That Jay-Z said that. You're quoting Jay-Z.
Yeah,
Okay.
I'm quoting anybody quotable here. Men will lie, women will lie, but data will not lie.
Yeah.
Look at the current cabinet of the current administration.
Yeah.
From A to Z, there's no single economist.
That's correct.
Even our former minister of economic planning and budget and economic planning, Udoma, was a lawyer. Or let me say, he's a lawyer.
Yeah.
So imagine a lawyer running the planning and economy. Does that sound? There's no correlation there.
All the lawyers don't come after you.
Well, they should come after an economist that will sue them also, and we'll get to equilibrium. So those are the things we are looking at. And look at Atiku when it comes to picking brains, picking teams. Let's give it to him. So once the team is ready and you have economists among them, then the economy will surely come forward.
Sounding very bullish, Dotun. All right, thank you for that. Hauwa, let me come back to you. This is something we need some help with here. Now we're moving to technology, right? I want you to help us understand what this means. Let's put this up. This is, again, everything we're bringing forward here is from the plan. This is on foreign tech demand. It says, the header here, harnessing the potentials of the new economy. Establish a technology support program, TSP, to support the tech and ICT sector to meet the demand for technology currently being met by foreign tech, especially in the area of software development. What does this mean? And in fact, you know what? Just to help us out, there's a picture. Let's show this picture of the candidate himself on a computer. I think we have that. Yeah. So he's using a MacBook Pro, right? So are you saying that he's going to replace Apple Macs with made in Nigeria laptops? Or help us out. What are we talking about here? What is that plan talking about? This replacement of foreign tech?
I mean,
yeah.
I mean, this is oversimplifying it, obviously, but we all know that the way markets work, consumers have choices and options, and they can go for any product they want. But in terms of the ICT plan that the Atiku plan is talking about, it's opening up the system. And basically, it's as simple as that, creating the environment for the ICT sector to bloom and to prosper. And these ICT sector creates jobs. We've seen them. We've seen people like Flutterwave, and we want more of them. It's basically as simple as that. So what he's pushing for is opening up the system so that Nigerians are able to demonstrate what they can do. Young Nigerians, if I can mention, they're doing excellently well. They're exporting, their products outside. So why shouldn't we have it in Nigeria? It's very possible that, in fact, it would be lovely to see him using a made in Nigeria laptop after 2023, based on one of his initiatives. It would be lovely, and I think that is very possible.
Okay. All right. I mean, we had two documentaries looking at, in fact, yesterday on leather tanneries in Nigeria and the challenges they're facing. So made in Nigeria products, very possible, but there are challenges. All right, let's put up another plan here. And I'm going to go, Dr. Hauwa, thank you so much. Doctor, I'm going to come back to you now. Let's put this, I think there's 3 plans here. I think this is still on ICT, so I'll come to you, then go to Hauwa, then back to you again. Let's put this up here. Let's get this plan up on the screen. We've got 3 more. All right, so Dawson, here's the thing. As far as the digital space is concerned, yes, there we go. Promotes vigorously ICT literacy levels at all levels in our schools. The teaching of ICT shall be made compulsory in our schools if we are to progress. What is the cost of this? You're talking about what? Replacing, and is this, sorry, first question, is this all public public schools, and I guess private schools? And then what about the cost on the public side for the equipment you would need to make ICT literacy available at all levels?
Okay. As one of my teachers back then in secondary
school... Are you going to quote him as well?
I'm actually quoting. As one of my teachers back then in secondary school would say, that if you think education is too expensive, try ignorance.
Yeah. Well so, said, okay.
Look at the cost, look at the amount of money we are devoting to combat security today. That is the insurgents and what have you. And the long-term solution to insurgents is good education.
Yeah.
That's why Ban Ki-moon once also said that ammunition can kill terrorists, but good governance will kill terrorism. So if we are targeting terrorism to be curbed in Nigeria, then good education should come. So there's no amount of money you will spend on such education that will say it is too much, because we have the long-term and the short-term effect of this education. Then in terms of the ICT being taught at the levels of at all levels of education, it's actually, if it is coding that you want to go into software development or whatever, start from primary school. Now, in terms of digital literacy, the population is divided into two. We have what they call the digital natives and the digital immigrants.
Yeah.
Look at a 2-year-old, your 2-year-old child these days will operate your phone. Before you know it, has made a call, he has died, he's on WhatsApp, he's on this, because they are born into it. They are digital natives. But some of us that have been around before we have digital spread, we are called digital immigrants. So we're just learning. So even what you are still learning, please, that's why you see our parents, please, how do I send this one? But a 2-year-old, a 4-year-old, 5-year-old. So if a 4-year-old or a 5-year-old is exposed to digital literacy as from birth, so why can't you start teaching them from that? Why can't you catch them young? So before they are 15, 16 and they are being taught how to do Yahoo or whatever, we have caught them young and they are using it for positive development in the economy, which is what India did. Before now, India was known as the capital of all the fraudsters. But look at them today in terms of tech, in terms of ICT, in terms of software development. India is known for it. And that is one of the things that Atiku-Abubakar, I think, is also part of the plan. All the Yahoo that we're talking about now, Yahoo boys, there are ways to maybe we give them an amnesty. The brain that you are using to do this, please divert that brain to positive things. It was the same thing that India did. Yeah. It's actually possible. So look at Hush Puppy. Let me start as an example that has been arrested now. It's not easy, the kind of brain, the kind of imagination, or the kind of creativity they must have had. So what if that had been turned to something positive? So why can't you harness them in that, okay, you have gone the wrong way. The best time to make a U-turn when you're on the wrong way is that particular time you discover that. So if you have discovered that, okay, these guys are using this energy, this talent for something wrong, then why can't you call them back? Why can't you give them maybe amnesty if there's anything of such nature, and then tap into that energy that then, while we are doing that, then the younger ones, we are teaching them right from primary school. If it is coding you want to do, if it's aeronautic engineering you want to go, start learning it from now. And a typical example that I also cite is this movie. I don't know if you have seen it, The Three Idiots. One Indian movie called The Three Idiots.
I haven't seen it.
Yes, in fact, after this program, please try and watch it. I saw it so many years ago, more than 10 years ago, but the knowledge is still in my head. This guy went to school, and after that, he said he's not here to learn. He's here to express his mind. And after the time he was leaving school, he has over 400 what do they call it now? Inventions.
Yeah, okay.
So that is what we're talking about. So when he came out, he said instead of starting the normal school, what he did was just to gather small younger ones around his area and start teaching them how to do their robots, to do this, to fix phone, to create their own phone, and he's doing fantastic. It was doing fantastic. That was a movie, but it's actually something that can be duplicated in reality. So if Atiku-Abubakar is saying that I want to teach ICT from primary school up to the highest level, factually is capturing both the digital natives and then the digital immigrant, which is very, very possible.
So that means the education budget will go up on the Atiku administration.
According to UNESCO, United Nations for Education, Science and Children, it is said that education budget should be 26% of a nation's budget. What do we have today? Our education budget is less than 5%. That's why ASU's on strike. That's why it's at home. Even the ones we have, there's what they call the nexus between town and gown. That is what is being taught in the university. That is the gown. Is it the same thing that the industry needs? That's what I'm talking about, demand-specific knowledge. So if right now we are saying we want to create jobs using ICT, then the university are not teaching them the same ICT. That means you have chunks of uneducated graduates coming out, and yet they can't fit into the system. Unemployment will still be created. So both short-term and long-term goal is what Atiku is looking at here, because they say a politician we plan towards winning the next election, but a leader will plan towards next generation. So if he's saying he's going from primary school, of course, teaching them digital literacy from primary school before he will leave, even if he's contesting the second term, I mean, which is 2027, we know that those children in primary school will surely not vote for him. But he's interested in next generation. That let us set Nigeria aright. That's why we check all the what's it called, the program of Atiku, the 5 program. If you rearrange them, you can have what they call reset, which is what he's doing. He wants to reset Nigeria economy. The R there stands for reunification. The E stands for economy. The S stands for security. Then the second E is starting for education, and the last is true federalism. So if you look at that, it's like reset. We want to reset the economy, which is why some of us economists are buying into his policy. We have seen it. Yeah, it's readable. For thank God is what you are even quoting now to have this discussion. There are some, we have seen some presidential aspirants coming out and say, it's just normal rhetorics. I will do this. I will do this. Let us see. None of them have put it in place. All right. But Atiku-Abubakar has done that, and that's why we're buying into the vision.
Hauwa, let me give you the last word here. You are the chair of a strategic committee called PDP New Generation, and you guys both are targeting the youth. Can you sell a 76-year-old candidate when you are running a body called New Generation and you are appealing to the youth? You get the final word.
Yeah.
Okay.
Definitely. Atiku-Abubakar has been known to engage young people all of his life. In his businesses. Young people have always participated. He knows them. He relates with them. He knows what is in trend. So we are able to sell Atiku-Abubakar because we know he has the capacity, the experience. And he sees the vision, and he understands that the world is going to be ruled very, very soon by the young generation, and he intends to be a transitional president, and we're very happy with that. He has made a statement on one of the town hall meetings that he's had with young people that if young people are able to show up themselves, he wants to be a transitional president for them. So it's very simple. We believe in him, and we believe he'll carry out his words. All right, and we'll hope we'll have if he wins, we'll have the data to track all these promises and hold him to account. I want to thank you both so much for joining us. Hauwa Abubakar-Uwais, who is the chair of the Strategic Committee for the PDP New Generation. Also, Dotun, help me with your surname. Mabinuori.
Mabinuori.
I love the name. Mabinu means don't be angry. Thank you so much, sir, for joining us as well.